Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to ETS2 Season 2. Happy New Year everyone. We have snow now in ProMods country. Ah yes. In today's episode, we'll be continuing our trip to the north, making our way to hopefully get to the newer areas in ProMods 260 somewhere in Norway. I believe these are all new, if I remember correctly. Also on the way, we'll be passing through some new areas. We'll see what we can manage. Oh, and this is supposedly new as well. Maybe we can take the long way around like this if we have time. Yeah, that might work. And then eventually I downloaded Finnmark again. Finnmark has now been updated to 143, so that's the long-term goal. That's why we're headed north, because I want to explore that. I've heard very good things about that. So let's go and do it. As always guys, all of the mods I'm using are in the mods list. Link in the video description. I miss driving here. Max's sounds. Beautiful idle sounds. And can hear very loud here in the interior because our windows are down. As we close them, start hearing that they are getting muffled now. Proper insulation inside the cab now is supported with the freds SCANIA. Nice. So that's a recent 143 fix. In the previous episode, I can't recall if I had that already. I don't think I do. So that might be actually louder than what we intended. But if you guys can compare it and let me know, how are the sounds like from this episode versus the previous episode where we featured ProMods 260 for the first time. Man, look at that. Good morning everybody. Alright. And I wonder if it's like this already in snake here there. I wonder if it's like this already in Germany. Really snowing now. I heard that it doesn't snow as often anymore in Germany. Maybe that has changed in the past couple of weeks during Christmas, during New Year. Let me know in the comments, okay? But yeah, I was craving for some snow in ETS2. We've had so much snow in ATS, and I figured, hey, ETS2 needs some of that too. So here we are. Ah, beautiful view. Looks like we have our thumbnail shot here, guys. Let's go ahead and mark that as our thumbnail spot. Also, seems like my dashboard is a bit more dim. I think it's mainly because it's so bright outside. So the lighting is actually changing the brightness in the interior to compensate. Oh my goodness, look at all these bridges. Beautiful. There we go. Right. So how did you guys spend your holidays? We're almost back to normal working conditions now for those of you who work. For those of you with school, probably school is starting soon as well from your end. But how did you spend your vacation? Hopefully it was good. Hopefully it was well worth it. On my end, definitely enjoyed it. And I have been playing a new game. You might have seen that in the previous stream, our year-end celebration stream, where we did a bit of convoying, a bit of giveaways, and we explored that new game called Motor Town. It's a very nice driving game. Oh, look at this city here. Looks so good. So European. Very nice. Oh my goodness.
Keep right.
One second. So yes, Motor Town. It's a new game that I have been playing offline, and a couple of guys in the community have been playing it as well. We have Jack, we have Blah, we have Alex, I think, plays this as well. Marty. Many people play it because it's a driving game that is like unlike any other driving game we've seen before. Because it's a driving game that has all the driving elements you can imagine. Well, almost all. Because you can drive a car, you can drive around in an open world without any purpose. You can think about getting hitchhikers, taking them where they want to go. You can drive a taxi, so you can officially charge people for taking them from one place to another. And with that comes some conditions. Some passengers will be in a hurry. Oh crap, where the heck are we supposed to turn? Here, okay, stop there. Wow, that was a tricky junction. I think I'm blocking the junction. Nobody say anything. No, I'm behind the line, so at least from that point of view, I'm not violating any rule. But yeah, might be just blocking this junction here. I hope no one complains. All right, here we go. I do like the new internal sound muffling. Seems more like a proper cab, right? Oh, 1 second. So yes, Motor Town. You can drive a cab, take passengers around with different requirements. Some people are in a rush, some people want it comfortable. So you have to alter your driving style based on the requirement. Or you can drive a bus, take passengers around specific routes. Or, our favorite, you can drive a truck and haul goods around. It supports multi-drops, guys. So depending on which vehicle you're carrying or you're driving, it has a specific limitation, right? Specific capacity constraints, and you have to choose what kind of load you're carrying to where, and you have to take care of your own route. Try to make it as optimized as possible. Make sure you're dropping goods, picking the jobs that are along the same direction, basically. It's very nice so far. So yes, multi-drops are supported. You can even see the pallets getting loaded one by one. It contains some gameplay elements that we've been longing for quite some time here in ETS2. So it's a really refreshing idea. And yes, you can drive all of those things, or you can go racing as well. You can drive an ambulance, you can drive a police car, and you'll get the corresponding jobs. You can drive a tow truck, and you can drive around looking for cars that have been broken down. So you help them out and you deliver them to the repair shop, and then you earn money for that. So all those things are included. All sounds great, right? And it is. That's why it's so addictive. And the progression is amazing. There's a level. You have a general driving level, and you have a level for each of the types of cargo or each of the types of driving you do. For driving passengers, for driving buses, for driving trucks, for racing. Each of those has its own levels. And the levels are there because it will vary. So you start off with like a pickup truck or a car. You upgrade to a pickup truck. You upgrade to a pickup truck with a cage trailer. You upgrade to a small van, and then to a small truck. So all those upgrades, all that progression is part of the game as well. And it would all depend on your level. So depending on your level, you can only access specific stuff. And that gives you a very good motivation to keep on playing, to level up, right? So that you can unlock better and better equipment. And what's more, there's actually a sense of ownership. So as you go around, as you earn money, that money is going to be used for saving up for your own vehicle or even your own house. It's possible. So many different gameplay elements. It's really well thought of, and I must say it has one of the best and user-friendly control options out there. The force feedback is not overwhelming, it just works, and you can tweak how strong or how weak it is. If you have a wheel, it supports manual transmission. If you have a shifter, right? All that stuff, and it feels great. The force feedback feels great. I would argue it even feels better than what we have right now in ETS2. So it's very well made. The only catch, that's why I'm still hesitating if I would bring it to the channel or not, and you guys let me know, is the graphics is a totally different beast. The graphics at the moment is very much work in progress, and I think the overall art style is different. It doesn't aim for realism. Rather, it is more about it is pretty cartoonish actually, so that might turn a lot of people off. To be honest, when I first saw the game, and believe it or not, Alex is the one who recommended this. He actually recommended a great game, but don't let him know that I said that. He actually brought it to our attention, this game, Motor Town, and the first time I saw it, I was like, meh. Yeah, I was not interested at all, because the how the game looked like, it's like maybe something like My Summer Car, as Jay would have said. He relates it to My Summer Car. It's very similar artwork, like with kind of cartoonish. So it's not really like this, like it's trying to aim for realism. And so a lot of people get turned off immediately. And I myself, if I didn't know about the features, I would have not taken a second look at it. I would have just skipped it. So the art style, the graphics is not really the best right now. Although, to be fair, it is pretty optimized. There are minimal stutters, so it's a great driving experience. And because of all the gameplay elements, you kind of get immersed in the world because of the gameplay elements, because of the feel of the steering wheel, the great force feedback and the controls and everything. The physics is pretty good. The AI is passable, although of course no AI is perfect, but yeah, it's passable. You even have varying oh, and yes, if you do a mistake, if you go on the opposite lane, for example, if you speed, then if there's a police car around, they're actually going to chase you literally, and you have two options at that point. You can pull over, and then you'll get fined. I think the fines right now are too small, so it's almost not an issue, but that will probably be tweaked. But yeah, you have an option to pull over to get your fine, or if you're brave enough, you can try to outrun the car like GTA style, so you can avoid any fines. So that's possible as well. So that gameplay element is also there. So as I mentioned, yeah, the gameplay elements are amazing, and I cannot stop talking about it because it's just so good. It's so fun, and there's multiplayer, by the way, up to 10 players I think at the moment. I'm not sure if that can be increased. So yes, you can like do your own jobs, each of you, and you'll meet each other on the road. We'll probably stream that in the coming weeks. Might even replace Truck Sim with that during the Friday streams if there's not anything significant on the trucking world, because the multiplayer is fun. Imagine having like 10 players around the map and just doing your own stuff, and occasionally you meet each other, occasionally you go to the same place. So it's a world that's more alive. There's even industries, like there's this one industry that's implemented at the moment. And it's currently in early access, so it's very much work in progress. But every week the developer puts out an update and it gets better and better. So currently there's an industry that I think it involves sand. So you pick up sand using your dump trailer. So yes, different kinds of trucks, different kinds of cargo options, not only pallets, and it depends what kind of truck you're hauling to what's compatible with where you're going. So you can haul sand using your dump truck, and you can go to the concrete mixer, something like this, and it will make concrete for you. This concrete you then deliver to somewhere else where it will be made into fine sand, I think, and then from fine sand you can deliver it back to make a higher quality concrete that tastes better, things like that. So there is an industry, there is a chain, right? So there is an actual effect on what you deliver. If you deliver this, it will make that, it will make that, it will make this, and then everyone earns more. And you can imagine that in a multiplayer environment where you guys can help each other work on all those industries, so it's fully working, right? And everyone is earning more. It's a great concept, and it's one that we have been really hoping for to get in Truck Sim, right? Making it more alive. We got multiplayer now, but the industries are a bit static, right? You deliver stuff from here to there, and that's that. It's great, that concept of like delivering this to there, and that actually has an effect. For example, they're delivering construction materials to a construction zone, and then maybe, or for example, delivering logs to a sawmill, and that will create maybe planks, right? And then these planks you can deliver to a construction zone, and then that will then make some prefab, some houses or something that you can haul to somewhere. You know, that would be great, that kind of connectedness in the industries. So this Motor Town game, despite its graphics, is one of the best games I've seen so far, and it's only like 10 USD at the moment, so I highly recommend it. I'll be streaming it for sure in the coming weeks, and if people like it enough, I might even make a series in YouTube for it. But yeah, the only main downside is the graphics. A lot of people will get turned off with the graphics. I would say though, to just give it a chance, and when you get used to it, when you get immersed in the world because of all the gameplay elements, because of how immersive the gameplay is, then you actually kind of forget the graphics already and start noticing the good stuff. So we'll see how it works, right? But yes, if there's one thing I would recommend for SCS, I would recommend they just play Motor Town, because I'm sure they will get some ideas from it. It's how it works, right, in the industry. I mean, this, regardless which industry you're at these days, there's really no new idea, right? It's all a matter of like getting ideas from somewhere else, maybe editing that or putting that on top of your own, combining that with what you know, what you have, and then making a new stuff out of it. But there's no like real new 100% new idea anymore. So it's all a matter of inspiration, and then starting from there, and then combining it with yours and stuff like that. So if anyone from SCS is listening, just in case, right? You never know. Or if someone knows someone who they can contact, I wouldn't tell you guys what to do. I wouldn't request a specific feature from you. All I'm just asking is, please play Motor Town. Give it a chance, and I'm sure you'll pick up some ideas on your own, and maybe some of those will be implemented in the game eventually. Because it's like a best practice kind of thing, right? This game does this better, this game does this better, and then these games kind of interact or get inspiration from each other, and as a result, both games get better. So I hope that's something that will come out. Yeah, Motor Town has currently this. Oh yes, and the currently the highest level truck in Motor Town is like an FL1, they call it. I guess it's like an FLB, Freightliner FLB or FLA. It sure looks like it. And the additional feature is basically, and this is something that we've been hoping for. We have a sleeper right here, right, in the truck, but we can't really use it if you think about it. You can only use it in rest areas, but you cannot like pull over the side of the road and sleep. in Motor Town, when you get that truck with the sleeper, you can sleep anywhere. And yes, there's day and night cycles. So when it goes night, you can pull over the side of the road and then sleep. And then resume in the morning so that you have better visibility and stuff like that. So yeah, simple things like that. Going outside the truck, raising the legs of the trailer on your own, unhooking the trailer or something. Yeah, those activities, those are all part of Motor Town. And yes, if SCS could just try out that game, I'm sure they will pick up an idea or two, and eventually that will translate into some gameplay elements here in the game. They probably know all that stuff already, but seeing those in action in an actual game, that it's possible and it's implemented very well, I think it's a very good kind of inspiration, you know. But yes, for the channel specifically, we will for sure be playing that more. But yes, just for those who haven't seen it yet, be warned, it looks nothing like ETS2. It looks nothing like this. It's cartoonish. It's like the wheel is like 10 polygons. It actually is purposely, I guess, made like that. It's not even a circle. It's like it's a polygon, literally. You see the edges of the steering wheel. It's not even like a smooth circle. So they purposely made it cartoonish, at least for now. They did say, and I think the developer is a South Korean person who, I'm not sure if this is a real thing, but based on the rumors, they were working in a corporate job, maybe in the gaming industry, for more than 10 years, and they got fed up, so they started their own. So this Motor Town game is ultimately the result of a single developer's work, and now he's starting to get some help in. I think he got a specific artist, maybe someone who can help with the visuals. So hopefully that will improve the overall visuals of the game. But I'm not sure if they're planning on actually having it like realistic like this, or if they're happy with the cartoonish vibe, you know, like Minecraft maybe, or Roblox. I'm not sure how we call it, but it's not realistic. But yeah, after you get immersed with the world, it's infinitely better. Yeah, even the wheel here, how this steering wheel feels, this one feels so light, so flimsy. With the new FFB from ETS2, during highways like this, I barely feel any feedback on the wheel. I might need to tweak the steering wheel settings, but that's also the point. In Motor Town, the steering wheel settings are very idiot friendly from my point of view. You only say what is the minimum strength and what is the maximum strength of the force feedback. So maximum you can set to up to 300%. So when you crash onto something, when you encounter a large pothole or something, you really feel it. But at the same time, the minimum is for these instances where there's almost no feedback, right? You're on a straight road, you're driving, and what kind of feedback would you want there? So minimum is 0, just like this, I guess. You hardly feel anything. Or you can say, I always want to feel something, even if I'm driving on a straight road. So you can say, okay, 15% is what I said. I think that's the maximum. So the wheel always feels like it's there, and there will be no instance where it doesn't feel like there's any feedback at all. So it's just simple, one minimum, one maximum. For me, for my simple brain, that makes most sense. In ETS2, we have so many options, right? Internal friction, centering low, centering high, gain. It's too complex for my brain, and I try fiddling with it, but it's too complex, so I end up not touching it at all. But that kind of setting where everything is basic, right? Minimum, maximum, that's it. That limits the customization, that's true, but in my opinion, that's more than enough already. Just set the minimum and maximum, and that's good for the feedback.
Keep right. After 50 yards, exit right.
Thanks, Lori. I would have missed this turn if she didn't speak up.
Exit
Okay, so
right ahead.
we move through here. Okay, we're passing through the cloverleaf, I think. Nice.
Left.
Thank you. See an IKEA up ahead. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that I hope SCS will pick up on. So when they play the game,
Turn right.
they'll pick up on some best practice that they can implement here too.
Turn right.
Alright, here we go. Salzwedel, Haldensleben. I have no idea where those are, but I'm just going to follow the GPS and hope we get to the right place. There we go. Right. And one more thing about Motortown. It is probably one of the best games I've seen when it comes to setting up your controls. And it's early access, so the interface is very basic. No, it doesn't look good at all, but it works as advertised. So if you are familiar with some of the simulator games that came out recently in the past 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, then you probably had that same experience that why can I not set up my wheel? You know, why doesn't this work? The game doesn't recognize my wheel, doesn't recognize my axis or stuff like that, doesn't recognize the buttons. The buttons are inverted or things like this, right? I'm sure you guys can relate. I'm sure you know which games those are. And there are a lot of them, like most of the simulator games that came out had that problem. Even the game that shall not be named has that still. This game, Motortown, just works. I don't know how it did it, but it just works. Like, you have the controls there. Okay, you want the throttle. Okay, the steering first. The steering axis. What will you use to steer? If you have a wheel, you press that and then you move your steering wheel and then it gets it. And then the pedal, the brake, the clutch, you assign each of the axes there, and that's that. There's an option to invert it if you need it. There's an option to set the minimum and maximum as well if you need it. Things like that. Slow down to 50 here. Lots of construction works here in this area. I think this is the new area already, or almost. 1 second. Oh no, almost there. Almost there. Yes. Ooh, that was a great monologue. I enjoyed the driving. Now, despite all the complaints I have for ETS2, all the missing features, one thing it does, and what it does best, is that amazing immersive driving experience, right? I just babble limitlessly and it's fun. 1 second, because I'm thinking if we need a new episode, part 2 for this. No, you know what, guys? Let's make it a New Year special. I'll make a longer episode than usual. Anyway, I'm still blabbing, so bear with me. It will be a longer episode than usual, because I'm having fun here. I missed ETS2. Yeah, despite the complaints I have, despite the limited gameplay elements, one thing it does great and it does the best is that immersive driving experience. So once you get to driving, you just get into the world here and listen to music or whatnot, and you can literally take the entire day just doing this. Especially with roads like these, right? The vibes are amazing. Okay, so but yes, going back, the controls for Motortown. It is amazing, guys. How effortless it is and how it just works. You know, simple things. You have a key there, you assign a key. You have an axis, you assign an axis, and it recognizes different peripherals. So if you have a separate shifter, if you have a separate throttle quadrant, or maybe a side panel, it just recognizes those devices automatically. And when you try to press a button there, when you're trying to map a key, it just recognizes it, and it just works. So very simple, nothing fancy, it just works. And I'm not sure why other AAA, even AAA developers cannot do that when a single developer can do it so seamlessly. But yeah, that just shows you how polished this game is, even in early access, and even with only a single developer responsible for everything. So the attention to detail is definitely there. And that's just such a refreshing sight after all the games we've had recently, which, to be honest, has and up to now still has very wonky controls. If you only have a controller, then it's simple, but when you have a wheel, you have a shifter, you have other peripherals all together, they somehow never implement it properly. I don't know why. Thankfully, ETS2 and ATS have mostly got that down, right?
Yards, turn right.
ETS and ATS are like part of the exception there. They've done this very well.
Turn right.
You can map different kinds of peripherals to different commands.
Turn left.
And it's very customizable, so they did this great. No complaints there for ETS2
Turn left.
or ATS. 1 second. There you go. Nice. One thing that is still missing in Motortown is the shifter. It has manual transmission and it kind of works from like 6 gears. You can have up to 6 gears. And then this is new. Leozin, I think it's called, has been rebuilt this area. Hello ProMods 260.
Cross the rotary. Second exit.
Roger that. Very nice vibe. Very homey.
Exit ahead.
Second, huh? There we go. It's finding the right gear. And love that reflection.
Turn right.
Sure thing. So we took the longer way around just to sightsee around this place. Leozin. You get the point. But yes, small things. Yeah, in Motortown, the thing that's still missing is the shifting. So it's the shifting from a truck perspective, because it has different vehicles, right? It has trucks, it has buses, cars. So the shifting from the car point of view is perfect, but the shifting when it comes to a truck is not yet properly implemented. It now has a 13-speed Eaton Fuller transmission, so you can customize when you buy your own cars or trucks. You can customize it, add parts, change the engine, change the transmission. And one of the options is to add, like, make it a 13-speed instead of a 6-speed. So you also have the shifter in range in there, the splitter in range rather, for a truck, right? To make it compatible for more gears. But it's a bit bugged at the moment, and it's not working like ETS2 yet. So I won't go to the details, but I reported it to the developer, and he replied within like a minute or so, acknowledged the thanked me for the input, and acknowledged that he will look into it. So he replies super fast in his Discord server. And yeah, he admits that the trucking elements, the shifting trucking elements, are not yet properly implemented, have not yet been properly tested, so that takes a bit of work still. But yes, it's so agile, it's ever evolving, so I'm hoping to play it more in the coming weeks, coming months. Looking forward to what comes out of it. And I hope SES plays it too, so that they get inspired, they pick up some ideas, and they make their game even better. Because I think, yeah, they could all do some inspiration or two with that. Amazing what a single guy can do. And yes, because the guy is from South Korea, the map is actually based on Jeju Island, I think. Because there is a Jeju region and there is a Jeju airport, which is like an island that is part of Korea, South Korea. I love the lighting here. But yeah, the graphics is one of the main downsides of that game. And so with me playing Motortown for the past 3 days or so, and now getting back to ETS2 like this, I was like, oh my goodness, this game looks so good. Looks so real. It's one of the downsides. That's okay. I mean, that's why each game can benefit from the other. So yes, let me know if you're interested in seeing Motortown as well. We'll probably stream it a couple of times first. If the interest continues to stay there, then I'll probably make a series out of it. But yeah, my main concern is the looks. With videos in YouTube, visuals are a big part of the experience, right? Because I can tell you how it feels, like the steering wheel, how the driving feels. I can tell it to you as much as I can, but you can't feel it for yourself, so it doesn't really translate well in YouTube videos. No matter how good the physics is or the feeling is of the driving, I can't really convey that to you perfectly. So what I can share with you is the visuals, right? The sounds. And the sounds, some cars sound like cars, right? For racing, you can really hear the engine revving. When you shift gears, the physics is great. You can feel that cabin, that car buckle as you shift gears because of the inertia and whatnot, so that works. But the trucks, they have a sound. They don't sound like a vacuum cleaner, but it still leaves a lot to be desired as sounds. So it's still very much work in progress. But yes, I'm really looking forward to what comes out of it because it is looking really, really good. And I was pleasantly surprised at how much that game can offer. I mean, the refreshing thing about it is I mostly, for example, drive trucks there because I want the chill driving. But sometimes it gets a bit monotonous, right? Okay, get some goods here, deliver it there, and then once you're there, get some goods again, and then deliver it here. And sometimes you just I kind of want to change it up. And sometimes what you do is just maybe exit the game, play something else, right? But in Motortown's case, you don't really need to change the game, you just need to change a vehicle. So instead of driving a truck, maybe I want a bit more fast pace, maybe I can go racing for a bit, hop into your car, hop into a racing car, and there are some racing tracks. You can play multiplayer, you can play single player against AI, so that works either way. Or maybe I'll take some passengers and I'll drive a bus, things like that. Oh, there's the parking. So those things are very interesting, and it adds that nice change of pace.
You have reached your destination.
So you can go drive slow with trucks and then take a taxi, take your car, make it into a taxi, but maybe upgrade the engine and everything. Oh, look at how much insulation we're getting there in the cabin. It's so loud now. And then from there you can drive a taxi and drive faster, break speed limits if you want, run away from police, or maybe drive as a police car, things like that. But it's very, very promising, the driving simulator. I've been thinking of making a video on it as I was playing, but yeah, it's mainly the graphics that's missing, so we'll see. Also, Track IR is not yet there, but the developer got his own Track IR a couple of weeks back, and I think he's starting to fiddle with it to see how it can be implemented. So I'm hoping it can come into play soon, because it would add so much when you have Track IR. Yes, simple things like looking left and right. You know how it is in ETS2, you don't have like a snap back. Like you look left and when you release the button, it snaps back to center. ETS2 doesn't even have that, right? And in most other games, most other driving games, you have that feature. Motortown has that, so even without Track IR, it's easier to look left and right when you're trying to make a turn. So yes, those simple things, I think SCS can learn a thing or two, pick up some things or so, and everyone will benefit because of it. Man, look at the lighting. That is amazing at night, huh? The Clumsy tablet. It's a bit bright, but I like it because it shows off our logo. But the lights behind it actually is amazing. So homey. Alan likes it very much, and Rex. Yeah, that's why Rex wants to stay here. By the way, guys, we might have some new friends coming. That's a bit as much of a teaser as I would share. Maybe next episode if I remember. Maybe we can get some new friends in the cab soon. We'll see. 598. Oh my goodness. Bit longer episode, but thanks for surviving my monologue. Oh, there you go. 15k. All good. Oh my goodness, that's a good price right there. Awesome. Let me show you the dream board because this is what I'm trying to aim towards. If I try that, I think that's the one. That kind of interior. Alright. We'll see. So it's a lot more blue and white. Probably not everyone's cup of tea, but that is my personal taste. So we'll see when we get there. Maybe that will be a good birthday present for me. Birthday is coming up in more than a month. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Catch you in the next episode. And yes, let me know what you think about Motor Town, about all these babbles. Thanks and bye-bye. Clumsy Trucking.